All right, so just want to make sure everybody knows on this channel, we're all about eating better, moving more, and living your best life. This video is actually a guide to food plans that will actually work. Forget the fad diets, right? They don't stick, and let's face it, they're miserable. Instead, I'm gonna this video. I'm gonna show you guys the food plans that will actually work, and then the next video you'll see food plans for you that you can choose from. This content, right, is drawn from books, videos, and personal experiences, right, to help you avoid those pitfalls, right, that make most diets crash and burn. Diets fail for many reasons. So we a lot of times we'll put unsustainable restrictions on ourselves, right? We'll cut out entire food groups, right? Or you know, try to create unrealistic expectations with extreme calorie limits. Um, some people also we have temporary fixed mindsets, right? So we think a diet is like a short-term solution, not a lifestyle change that we can just go back to what we were doing before and expect it to stay the same, right? We'll talk about that as we go. I have diet plans I'm going to talk about, um, and then you know quick. Sometimes we'll have like quick fix mentality, right? So um, we won't be realistic with our expectations for rapid results. We want it quick. It doesn't work like that, you guys. It doesn't work. We have to. It's going to be slow, but you're going to learn. You're going to develop new habits, and you're going to be real happy, and you're going to still eat some of the food you love, right? And that's why this channel is all about education, right? Most people have lack of education because they don't understand that why diets fail, and so um, the diets are not teaching proper nutrition or healthy habits. Otherwise, you wouldn't need their diet. Understand? If you knew the proper nutrition and the healthy habits, you wouldn't be eating that stuff, right? So therefore, watch this video and you're going to learn about that. Okay. And plus, I have other videos like on the a brief history of food and medicine, and vitamins and minerals and stuff like that. So those are the things that you want to watch. You really want to watch those. You take notes, or you can just watch them and just absorb it and just understand that um, you can make your own choices. Okay. But I'm going to give you a couple options that I know are effective. One thing that I do know for emotional triggers that I like was that when I was in college, right? I have my coffee, I'd have my chocolate, and it would help me get through my classes, right? But dark chocolate and stuff like that, it's not bad for you if you have a little bit here and there, right? So you can have stuff if you learn what you can have. Like if you have chocolate back to back every hour, right? Of course, it's going to start sticking to you more, right? But if you have a little piece of chocolate in a couple hours, and then during your class, and then you eat later, that's not so bad. So um, and then also, people think that diets are one size fits all approach, but it's not because we're different. We have individual lifestyles and individual needs, right? Also, propaganda, marketing. They're going to over promise and under deliver on the diets. Um, prolonged calorie restriction can also slow your metabolism. So you have to understand the metabolic impact it's having on you, so you can, make sure you're in the right plan. Um, a big one is social and cultural pressures. Because I remember since 2012 when I went organic, when I stopped eating fast food, right? I remember like I so many times I've had to argue with my family because I'm not going to eat that food. And then sometimes we'll over rely on the products. Like I'll show you Nutrisystem. I'll show you how I over relied on that one, and then it ended up it was kind of expensive, and it ended up um, you know I have to keep doing it. But now I learn how to do it. I don't need that. That's what I'm going to show you. You don't need that. Okay, so as I was creating actually this food plan video, um, a lady at work turned me on to this book, so I started looking at it, and the guy's name is Dr. Living Good, Living Good Daily, and I like it. I'm really impressed by his work. So there's going to be a lot of different options you guys can choose from when you're trying to get yourself in shape and you're trying to get healthy. So I would say this one I recommend. This guy, when you look at his plan and stuff, he understands how to help you eat clean and get healthy. Um, the worst part of losing your health is losing your potential and purpose. He was inspired by his father's health crisis. Um, so he advocates natural, sustainable health solutions. You know, basically like holistic through nutrition, exercise. Okay, so what we have to understand is that we can't have like a we can't be stuck. You know, we have to have a growth mindset. Okay, so um, through in my personal journey and my real life success stories have proven that it's possible. That you just have to keep fighting, but you have to have the information, right? You can't just like be ignorant and expect things to change, right? No, you have to find a way. So how do you get that information? Well, read and watch stuff, you know, and do some research to make sure that the information you have is accurate. So I'm going to show you. I compare and contrast different food plans, you know, to make sure you guys can have a well-rounded understanding of why why you need to continue to learn to so you can become motivated, right? And so you can um, you know, embrace the change. I'm definitely want to make sure you guys can understand, you know, like, you know, the power of having nutrient dense foods instead of calorie dense choices. Okay. um you know, um the program, all these programs are going to be are designed basically for you because they are proven. You know, all these are proven. But I'm going to show you the ones that say they're proven that really don't work, and my experiences with them. But you have to have the key. The mindset is the key, right? This whole thing, right? So you have to have the growth. So a shift in your perspective, everything will change. Your habits, your health, and your life. And that's what happened with me. One day, everything just changed, and I want that to happen to you. Okay, so this is probably one of my favorite books I've ever read. Be- Not because of I love the book. It's just because this book changed my life. Um, because once I learned once I read this book, it's called "This Is Why You're Fat" and "How to Get Thin Forever." And so she talked about food chemicals, and I was like, and it hit me like, oh, chemicals. What are chemicals? Oh, so chemicals, right? They're in the food, right? Well, those are the things that cause everything to stick to us and cause us to get sick, right? A lot of the chemicals that preserve the food so we can stay on the shelf. Well, when I read this book and I was like, oh, it's not about calories, it's about chemicals, that changed everything. Because then I stopped eating the chemicals. I changed my diet plan, and that's when I created my first program, my first diet plan. Started helping people try to eat better. So this is what got me to think. But people don't really understand it. People don't really care as much as they need to, as far as, because this is your health. It's a lot more than just gaining weight, right? So she has this quote, and it says, "Health is not about deprivation; it's about making choices that empower your body." So um, I would recommend this book. This is another one too, just like the other one, that you can actually try. She you know, she's gonna help you with weight gain and you know, to balance your hormones and kind of like what I'm gonna be doing when I give you guys a different food plans. But like I said, I would recommend her, and I would recommend the other guy, um, Living Good. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put all these links in the description so you can find them and you can use them. Okay, take advantage of them. You don't have to follow these programs. You might want to read through the books just for fun, or I'm actually explaining them to you, so maybe you don't have to. Maybe you can just jump on one of these food plans that I'm going to give you. The next week or two, you're going to have the videos with the food plans that you can choose from. So that way you can start before 2025. You can get going instead of waiting. And then that way you can start your new year strong. All right, so I have to show you guys. Make sure if you guys didn't see that, I have a video of my story, and I have a video that actually you can see this picture in here, but I wanted to share this with you because this is me in 2012, the far right. Okay, I was 40 years old. I was 212 pounds. Okay, the middle one, right? That's 2000, probably like 2013 or 14, and I started going to the sauna. I started changing my diet. Like I said, based on that Jackie Warner, I started stopping eating the food chemicals. But then also I started getting into a thing called Nutrisystem, right? And I'll talk to you about that. But I couldn't get off of it. Every time I got off it, the weight came back, right? So I was learning. I was like, wait a minute, now I'm stuck on their product, right? And then I realized that I didn't know back then, but I didn't know that the food, it does have chemicals in it. Their food does, right? So I'll talk about that when I get to it. But for now, this is me on the far right, 2012, 40 years old. I look heavier. I look sick. My face looks sick. So I was like, I'm kind of looking back. I'm like, God, like I lost my brother to cancer. I lost my sister to cancer also recently. And so I'm thinking, God, was I on the verge? They didn't eat too bad and they weren't like really out of shape, but somehow it got them, right? So, but for me, like, God, in that state, I look like I'm suspect, you know? So, um, but then you look at, like I said, a couple years later, look at me. I lost a lot of weight. And then if you look at the next one on the left, the blue picture, the blue shirt, you know, that was me in like 2015, and I got down to like 153. I remember I was like, wow, that was really light. Okay, I didn't have the same muscles I do now, and I was actually a little bit heavier back then, and I was skinny. So now this is me on the bottom, and just like I was saying before, I cannot take off my shirt to show you guys like, oh, look at me, you know, which I don't want to anyway. I don't like to do that, but because I'm a teacher, you know, and I want my students. I don't feel comfortable anyway. But that's a real tight shirt that my friend Blair gave me, and he's the head of USA Wrestling, right? So he gets stuff, and he's like, here, and I tried it on. I'm like, man, all I see is rolls and stuff. I'm like, no way. So, but nowadays I can wear it, and I'm 52, and I'm like, I'm in way better shape now than than I didn't think I was ever gonna. I didn't think I'd be in this shape. Okay, so anyway, you can do that. Just follow what I'm saying. My journey into health started way back in 1993 when I started. That's when I started doing weight training. Okay, I learned. I started getting real soft right here in the chest, and I was like, wait a minute, that's not something. I don't like that. So then next thing you know, I learned about bench press, and then that was my first experience in weight training. And then I stopped maybe a couple times between now and then, but since then I've been pretty much in the gym. I used to be 5 days a week all the time, but I was never shredded. I was always had a little bit of fat on me, and I never knew how to get off that last fat ever. So now until now, right, or till the last 4 years or whatever. But yoga, 1998, I got into yoga because I hurt my shoulder, and then the doctors were saying, well, you have to have surgery. And then once I started doing yoga, next thing you know, 2 weeks later, my shoulders were healed. So I didn't have to have surgery, and I was like, okay, well, I learned the power of healing through yoga. And then in 2003, I got this book called Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About. Um, and it's a lot of people will scrutinize that book because it's the sales guy that kind of put that book out there. But if you look at the information in that book, it's actually exactly what's happened. The chemicals and everything has caused us to get sick in our food and our cleaning supplies and everything. And that book will kind of talk about that. It's pretty scary. Wow, who would have known? And I would never have believed it. The next thing is, see, 2005, 2006, I started selling these superfood beverages after I met this holistic healer guy that gave me this smoothie that kind of helped me heal a bunch of stuff I had, my chest pains, and I had gout and acid reflux, and just a little smoothie helped heal all that stuff. So I was like, wait a minute, just a little smoothie? So I was like, there's something to this nutrition thing, right? I must have been really nutritionally deficient if a drink had all the chest pains and everything went away fast, right? So I met these people, and then they were talking about this superfood beverage called Zija and called Monavi. There's two different ones, right? The Monavie was from the acai berry, and the Zija was from the Moringa oleifera plant. So I started selling these on the side after work when I was selling the RVs at the RV business, right? I used to sell motorhomes and trailers. So I'm selling these things on the side, and I realized that they're not FDA approved, and the FDA would not approve them. I was like, why is that? They're just berries and a leaf. People started feeling immediate benefits when they started taking it because they were so deficient, like me before, right, with the smoothie. And people loved them and they were working well. And so since then, I understand the power of nutrition, and that's why I'm teaching it. Um, so then in 2012, I found that book, This Is Why You're Fat and How to Get Thin Forever, right? And that's when I adopted an organic lifestyle. And then since then, I did an organic food coach business, which I was just trying to help people learn how to eat right. And then I did the gardening thing, and now I'm doing this, which basically I can give you guys all the information, food plans, everything. You can watch my videos every week and you can get motivated. See, that's the key. Once I give you all the information, I give you your food plans and your exercise plans. I'm just going to be like, hey, what's up? You know, what are we doing today? Are we doing this? I'm going to motivate you guys. I'm really good at that. That's what I do every day for school as a teacher. I motivate. I get my kids that do not want to do schoolwork to do schoolwork. All right. So this is a good quote too. Don't be alarmed if during the first week or two of healthy eating you feel worse and the desire to use food to curtail discomfort is heightened. This usually passes within the first 4 days. Okay, so this guy right here, he the reason why I'm sharing this quote too is because that exactly what you just got to break through it. Once you get past that point, you're going to be good. Okay, and then also you might feel sick a little bit because your body's going to be detoxing sometimes. So that's why I'm going to slowly roll you into it. Okay, so you can maybe hopefully you won't feel so bad. Okay, but this guy, his name is Joel Furman, and um, he wrote this book called Eat to Live, okay, and it's called it has this thing called the nutrition Aryan diet, and basically what it is it's a plant, gluten free, low salt, low fat, and nutrient dense food. So basically your body's going to have a chance to recover and get better. you know he does a lot of vegetables, fruits, beans, nuts, and seeds in his diet. It's minimally processed, right? Um, and they usually don't use much animal products. Okay, I do like eat a lot of meat, but also when you're trying to heal and you're trying to get healthy, if you're sick, sometimes it's better just to get rid of just because meat slows you down. But I eat meat because I work out. If I didn't work out every day, I'd probably not eat as much. You see, just because I want to make sure my body can move through it, because it takes more than it doesn't take your body doesn't processed meat like it does vegetables, like fast. It takes a while, so it slows you down, right? So if you're sick, you want to eat stuff that doesn't slow you down. But like I said, I eat meat. I like meat. Meat's good. I think it's good for you. I think it's great for you. And but not. But when you're healing, sometimes you might want to consider that it does slow you down a little bit. Okay. All right. So okay. So this guy right here, he was the ex. He used to be the head of the NIH before Fauci. So this guy is named Dr. T. Colin Campbell, and I really love this guy's work. So he wrote this book called Whole. A couple other he wrote many other things, but one book called Whole, and it's rethinking the science of nutrition. It's his diet promotes health through nutrient synergy. Criticizes the profit-driven pharmaceutical and food industries, right? Um, and he basically is saying that whole foods work better. A book or a movie. Check out this film if you guys can. It's been out for a little while, but basically it'll enlighten you on some of the why it's important for to eat whole food, and a lot of plant based is good. Basically, it has scientific evidence, expert insights, and inspiring personal stories that, and then it encourages shifting from meat and dairy to vegetables, grains, legumes, and fruits for longevity and well-being. Okay, like I said, I'm not trying to promote vegan diets, but maybe I am, right? But I'm not. I'm just trying to basically show you guys that there's a reason why a lot of these diets, for people that are sick too, that they do eliminate. They don't put much meat in there. I just had to share this one real quick because if somebody is sick, there are options that they can try if they don't want to go Western medicine. And then this right here is, or maybe mix it with it, right? Mix it with Western medicine. This is called the Gerson therapy. And I have found this and I've studied this a lot when my brother was sick. And if I was sick, I'd probably jump on this one because basically you're putting everything in your body that's going to help you, and you're going to eliminate anything that's going to cause problems. But they go pretty far. They go so far that they even do coffee enemas. Like, I'm not even going to talk about that one. So to detox, right? So, but you have to read it and study it. I'm not going to get into that one. Okay, so food plans, right? Um, so these food plans that I'm talking about right now are going to include all food groups. They're going to be sustainable that you can stick to, right? They're going to be enjoyable. They're not going to be so bad, so you can have some good food in here. And then you might have you might be eating breakfast, you might not, right? It depends on which food plan you choose. So let's talk about popular diet plans in the past. All right, lean cuisine. So these are frozen meals, right? That you can put in your fridge and your freezer, and you can have them ready, convenient, right? The problem is they do have high sodium content and they lack fresh ingredients. Um, but they're an easy option for people with busy schedules. I started doing this after um, when I was on another food plan or another diet, right? And when I stopped using the Nutrisystem that helped me get in shape, I went to Lean Cuisine and I was trying to do the same Nutrisystem with Lean Cuisines, so I'd eat them the same time and stuff. But then I started, of course, going back to my other ways, and I started falling off. So, but anyways, Lean Cuisine is good, good light meals, but the problem is that I don't think they're real healthy for you because they're not organic or anything. I always get the Amy's meals and replace those because the Amy's meals apparently they're healthier. Now this is Nutrisystem I was talking about, right? It's a great program, but like I said, it's chemicals. It's not organic or anything. They're not going to put organic because it's going to be too expensive, right? That's why I say it's better to make it yourself, or like I said, get some of them, like the Amy's meals or meals that maybe are organic or non-GMO that are frozen. Then you can mix them with stuff, right? And then now you can build up your meal. But Nutrisystem, they're pre-packed, right? Portion controlled, so and they deliver to your door, so they make it easy, right? It's convenient, and it worked good for me, right? Um, the only problem is that they're processed, and it gets expensive. So I've learned how to do this. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. You don't need that. Okay? Now, if you want it, you can go get it. But the only problem is, like I'm telling you, that stuff right there, it has chemicals and it might hurt your health. So I stopped doing it. And plus, by doing that, what happens with me is now I'm eating their snacks, I'm eating their little foods. But then eventually, I end up, I guess if life's busy, right? Maybe you go on vacation or something, and you come back and then you start falling off. So you can stay on it. Like I said, there's probably people that's been doing it forever. It might work great for them. They might not get sick. They might be healthy. I don't know. But I know for me, I'm not doing it. I don't trust it. I don't think it's good for you. And for what I've learned, it's not. Atkins diet, same thing. Okay, popular diet, promotes high protein and fat intake while reducing carbs, right? Um, so a lot of people were doing this. I remember the fad. I remember it was real popular, right? But apparently, eventually, you're talking about um, something that apparently can cause heart health risks, um, because if you're going to try to sustain it long term. So the Atkins diet I would not recommend. Now they do have other diets now, like I eat. You can have more meat. You can have like a more paleo. That's cool. But that one's at least like the other paleo and stuff like that. Nowadays they understand the problems that they were having with Atkins. So now they more say, okay, you got to add these certain things into your diet. So, but we're not going to get into that now. We're just going to move on to the next one because I'm just trying to explain these diets real quick. The long-term effects of Atkins diet, right? Um, it does. It looks like it does support weight loss, right? And it controls blood sugar, right? Especially for insulin. So um, that's good, but it might cause nutrient deficiencies, heart health issues, and kidney strain if not followed carefully, right? So I do take supplements now in my 50s, and I've been taking them since I was probably in my 30s, late 30s, because I started noticing I needed to take supplements for certain health issues. Um, but it's hard to maintain the Atkins long term because it's such a restrictive nature. So, but you can also, you know, opt for a different approach, a balanced approach with lean proteins, healthy fats, and vegetables. Just make sure you always consult a health care provider. If you guys have health issues, of course. So weight loss pills, God, they got this Ozempic and stuff out now, right? Like, man, of course, who wants? Of course, you want to take a pill like that Limitless, right? I'm gonna take a Limitless pill. I'm gonna be able to think limitless now, right? I'm gonna be able to be smarter than everybody, right? It might help you, but what's gonna happen in 10 years? How many people are gonna die from this pill, right? How many people are gonna get sick? I don't know. Maybe nobody. Maybe it'll help everybody, right? Let's stop putting that in there. Let's clean it. Let's get it going. Come on, let's get that system going, right? It's criticized for unsustainable and temporary results. All right. So one of the programs I'm going to share with you guys in the next couple of weeks is that eating 6 times a day diet. It worked for me in 2013. I got down to 153 from 212. So it works. Involves eating small balanced meals every 2 hours, okay? And you have to have a snack, right? Every 2 hour, 2 to 3 hours, and you're going to have a meal in between, right? So it does help with blood sugar levels and to avoid hunger because you're eating, right? Um, and then it includes like you're basically going to be eating lean proteins and some complex carbs and healthy fats, right? So your metabolism and energy level will boost. The only problem is though with eating 6 times a day, it is difficult for people to sustain, and they could overeat, right? You might be emotional. You might start overeating between. No, you have to stick to what they say. So make sure whatever you do, just have them snacks. But we'll talk about that, right? Um, and then basically, it's gonna, for me, it's good because I had pre-diabetes. Basically, I still have it, I think. But it'll help you maintain stable blood sugar levels and avoid hunger, especially once you get going, right? Um, so I would say the eating 6 times a day diet is a good diet, or a food plan, I should say. So, daily food plan for weight loss, right? This is basically what it is. Now, this is just an example. I'm not trying to have you guys. I don't. You can do this if you want, but I'm just showing you an example. That's all this is. This is not. I'm not trying to give you guys a food plan today. Next time, I'm gonna give you guys the food plan. So, but basically, it's like this, right? For breakfast, a healthy, if somebody had like a hard boiled egg, like you go to a continental breakfast, right, with oatmeal and berries, that's good, and then you have a snack in a couple hours, right? Just like I mean, if you have like an apple and almonds or something, I mean, come on, that's real healthy. Imagine the energy you have, right? Um, and then if you had like a lunch with some greens and chicken and so some vegetables and some fat, you know, with a little salad dressing on there, I mean, you're gonna shed the weight off if you eat this diet, right? It's pretty basic, right? And then you have a little snack with a Greek yogurt and berries, and then for dinner you just have maybe you have some salmon or some lean protein, right? Steamed vegetables, quinoa, and then for evening snack, you can have a snack, um, and then maybe you can have like for a snack you can have maybe some tea. I used to do that when I was doing this diet, or it's just some veggies or something, just to hold you over. Okay, so intermittent fasting. This is what I do. I'm not saying everybody should do it. I'm not saying it's going to be healthy for everybody, but I hear it is. So I don't want to. I'm not. I can't say either way. I just know for me it worked. Okay, so I'm not. I'm just telling you for me it was the greatest. Okay, that one is because I pretty much I'll stop eating like at 5 or 6 p.m. I won't eat anything else until the next day at 12 or 1 p.m. So now, if I eat before 12 the next day, then my body doesn't detox the same way. I might feel a little hungry in the morning. It's good because that means my body's it's pulling, right? It's pulling from the fats, right? So now um, I'm starting to shred the weight, right? But when I eat before 12 or if I eat in between that, I swear to you, it sticks to me every time. So if I'm working out, maybe not so much. If I'm working out a lot, but you know, I can't lift heavy weights because if I do, I'm gonna hurt myself. Even because I'm 52, right? When I was younger, I could lift heavier weights. So I lift decent weights, but um, the food doesn't stick to me when I eat like that. Okay, so yeah, intermittent fasting is my favorite. They have other ones too, alternate day fasting, right? Every other day. I haven't tried that one. You guys can this stuff right here. I'm gonna have the intermittent fasting one. I'm gonna have the eat 6 times a day, and I'm gonna have another program that you guys are gonna be able to choose from. If you can lose weight, right? It's you can maybe you can stabilize your blood sugar. You can reduce your insulin and promote fat burning. So you know if you enhance insulin sensitivity, it helps combat insulin resistance, right? And then it reduces the risk of type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease, and then brain and heart health may improve um, also when you start, eating healthier, right? Your gut health, right? It'll improve, it could improve like because you have a lower risk of digestive issues, right? Um, and then successful intermittent fasting, right? I found some tips for Dr. Berg. So basically, he says this: yeah, skip breakfast, um, combine intermittent fasting with healthy ketogenic diet. He says prioritize nutrient dense foods over processed options. Stay hydrated with water, apple cider vinegar, and lemon juice. He says exercise without supplements to enhance growth hormones and fat burning. Supplement wisely with B vitamins, electrolytes, and trace minerals during fasting. Okay, so Dr. Berg, he's one of my favorite guys that I like to watch um, because I mean, like I swear, every time, 100% of the time, every time I look it up, I listen to what he says about changing my diet, and then the challenge I had or the health problem I had, the deficiency I had seems to go away because I actually replace, I'll add a supplement or I'll pull out something from my diet, and so I'd recommend Dr. Berg. I'll make sure I put him in the description also, so you're going to have another resource there that you can go to. So these are his rules, right? He said, Dr. Berg says, slow, right? Gradually increase fasting times. Make sure you stay hydrated. Water is your best friend. Um, I got to stop drinking so much coffee though. No snacking, right? Stick to meal windows. That's going to be important. Stick to those meal windows. Now, I do snack in between my intermittent fasting, but he said you can't have a snack in between there, right? I probably have too many, but as long as I don't eat after those windows, then at least I know that it's working. Um, and make sure you're eating nutrient dense food, right? Quality over quantity, right? So if you eat organic food, remember, if you eat a chicken breast that's organic, right? You're not going to be able to eat as much of that chicken breast as you could if it was non-organic because it's full of nutrition, right? The one that's non-organic, people can eat the whole thing, right? Like, so I can eat a lot more of food that that doesn't have the nutrition because my body if it gets the nutrition, if I eat something that has nutrition in it and it gets the nutrition, then my body's gonna be satisfied, right? But if it doesn't have the nutrition, then I'm gonna have to keep eating like fast food, right? I'm gonna have to eat 2 Big Macs, right? I don't eat that anymore. I haven't had that since 2012. So, yeah, um, if you make a good organic healthy burger, right? Guess what? You eat one, you're gonna be full. So try it out. It's you'll be surprised. Um, and then make sure you balance your electrolytes too, right? Sodium, potassium, and magnesium must be in check, right? You must make sure you have that because your body's going to be detoxing. So therefore, you're going to be missing stuff. So therefore, you're going to want to make sure that you understand that. So that's why I want to make sure that maybe you check out Dr. Berg if you guys do the intermittent fasting, and I'm going to give you all the details. Okay, um, and then make sure you exercise because that's going to be important. Okay, and adjust your food and your exercise based on your energy and hunger. My food plan, right? It's basically my go-to meals are balanced, nutrient rich, and delicious. I do eat chocolate, but it's all about balance, right? So Amy's, apparently their product has non-GMO and organic. So what I'll do is, like I was saying before, and I'll talk about my food plans next in another video. But basically, um, you know, I like to get this mole enchilada meal, right? I like to mix that with some eggs that I've prepared. I've created in bulk throughout the week. I made a dozen eggs with some maybe sausage or whatever in there. I'll put that on the side. I'll put some beans in there, boom, and I'll put Amy's enchilada meal. Now I have a big meal that I can have for my lunch at work and I can have breakfast, or I can even have that for dinner, right? Or I can say, all right, no, I make a bunch of chicken breasts, right? So I'll cut up a half a chicken breast. Maybe I'll mix that. I'll put that with some beans and some quinoa, and then the enchilada, right? So now I got a Mexican meal for lunch or dinner, right? Or I can get like another Amy's pasta. These are just examples, a couple examples. And then I can mix that with chicken and some more broccoli, like I'll get a whole half a bag of broccoli. I'll put it with that Amy's cheddar broccoli cheddar bake, right? And then, so I'll have a half a bag of broccoli, right? And then I'll have a half a breast of chicken, right? And so maybe 4 to 6 ounces of chicken, right? I'll cut that up. And then I'll put that in and I'll take that to work, right? Or I'll have that for dinner, right? Or I'll just have pasta, or I'll have some quinoa, or a salad or whatever. But anyways, this is just an example of some of the things that I found, so I don't have to use those lean cuisines or Nutrisystems. Just use these. They're a little bit healthier. So to eat healthy, a lot of people struggle because of time, right? Busy schedules. Um, they crave salt and sugar, and that kind of messes them up to stay on track, right? Emotional eating, like I talked about, you might be stressed, you might be have anxiety, um, and then you might go eat something you shouldn't eat. Um, Peer pressure, you know, um, and then the cost of eating healthy. So I would say this: if you are on a budget, you want to eat healthy. Well, guess what? Just buy the food, make it yourself, and you can make a few meals for the price of one if you eat out. And then you can get away with it probably, right? So, and if you can't eat organic, try to go non-GMO. If you can't go non-GMO, then just make sure, no matter what, you're cooking at home and you're not at McDonald's, right? Or whatever the fast food, any of these fast food places, right? Um, I do eat Chipotle sometimes. Lack of knowledge. Some people don't know what constitutes a healthy diet. A lot of people, they have limited access to foods that they want. When I was 13 years ago, when I went organic, it was really hard to find anything organic. I only had a couple sections and a couple stores, and the produce was usually going rotten. So I had to work hard to find out how to do it. Now I know I just don't eat anything unless it's non-GMO or organic, because that's how I'm going to treat my body. I don't want pesticides. So um, and then also habitual habits. So you're going to have to break your habits, embrace the change, right? Unrealistic goals. Just follow what I'm saying. Just listen to me every week. Just follow the plan. Don't think. My number one advice to you guys is do not think. Let me do the thinking. Follow the plan, and then just don't think. Say, oh, I can't think. I just got to follow. Okay. Psychological issues, body image, eating disorders, and past dieting struggles will impact your choices, right? Well, guess what? Don't think. Don't worry about your body. Don't worry about any of it. It's all going to happen. You just got to have faith and give it time, okay? And do the work. It's not, and so some of them monotonous diets can also become boring, right? And decrease your motivation. Well, this is going to be kind of fun, because you're going to be able to teach other people now too, and they're going to be looking at you like, God, what is she doing, or what is he doing, right? It doesn't matter what age you are either. This is, man, this is, you guys can all do this, right? Um, Environmental triggers, right? Yeah. See a bag of chips, see a donut, just walk by it. After you walk by it and you waited 5 minutes, you're gonna be like, man, I would have ate that thing. I would be miserable right now. But now I let it go. I passed. It's passed. It's done. I made it. Right? Stop thinking. Remember? You know. And then you're gonna have to be mean. Your family, your friends might want you to eat certain things. You're gonna have to tell them no. You just gotta say no. It's up to you. If you want to make this happen, you're gonna have to go all in. Okay. Um, so, and then make sure you plan, because if you don't plan, you're going to end up eating unhealthy foods, and it's going to mess up everything, right? So put the time in, right? And then it's funny, because when you start eating this way, you're going to feel proud of yourself. You're going to have less stress and less fatigue. So we're almost there. Commit to your journey, right? Subscribe for updates, gain research insights, inspiring quotes, and my personal health stories and the stories of others. Okay, I'm going to share. Plan and adapt. Pre-plan your workouts and diets. Not diets. Pre-plan your food plan. There's no diets. Diets come and go. Food plans are for your whole life. Adjust flexibility. You know, um, with the strategies I give you and the discipline tips, like do not think, stop thinking, just follow and do not think. And then one day you're going to be teaching it. I swear to you will. Maybe you can develop a channel like this, right? You can partner with me. You never know. I just want to help people. I don't care. I just want to help people. I don't care what happens. My main thing is this. I'm sick of seeing people sick. Sick of seeing people miserable with their health, and then people dying. I'm done. So when I lost people years ago, I promised myself I would do something like this, and I didn't know I was going to have a platform like YouTube. This is pretty cool. So, and 2025 is going to be my year for this, because I'm planning on. I'm just ramping it up right now, creating content for you guys, and I can't wait till you guys get started. So, we're going to try to remove those unhealthy foods, right? Clean out your system, right? Through science based research. You got to embrace it. Embrace the change, right? Um, we're going to learn nutritional essentials. You're going to understand nutrients for health and aging through experts, and then we track your progress. Maybe one day you start gardening and go as far as I went, right? But the gardening actually helped me with grief a lot. With stress and grief, and it kept me sane, even though felt like I was losing it. So, all right. So we're almost there. So I think we're at the last two slides, I think. Let me see. Oh yeah, okay. So I found this quote, and you guys heard of Tony Robbins, right? Um, motivational dude, really intellectual guy. Um, without a baseline standard for the quality of your life, you'll live below your capabilities. Let's create it. I'm giving you guys the information. Let's create the standard now. Okay, we can do it. So to achieve the goals, right? Here, once you guys, I'm gonna plant these seeds in your head right now, okay? Because then when I give you guys these plans, you can start. We got to be specific, right? We're going to define clear and measurable goals, right? We got to break them down. We're going to split the goals into smaller, manageable tasks. Well, that's what I'm going to do for the first food plans, and then you just got to follow it. And then we'll have deadlines, right? So your first food plans, right? They're going to be maybe for your first month, you might change some things. Then the next month you change a couple more things, just a little bit at a time, right? But you got to be flexible, right? And then we're going to make sure you track your progress. You know, you don't want to ever give up. You just got to keep following through. So you're on your health journey, right? You got to take the first step. Try to follow a meal plan. Okay, as soon as I roll them out here. As soon as I roll them out here, download the resources that I'm giving you. Okay, so you're going to have free, like I said, you're going to have free meal plans and free exercises. I don't know if you guys know how valuable that is, but you don't have to go buy it. It's free. All you got to do is download it and follow it, and then watch my video for the motivation, right? And then remember, healthy eating is you're giving yourself respect, right? And then follow me, and we'll have some fun on this journey together. We'll go ahead and we'll get you dialed in on your new program here in the next couple weeks.